Good morning. It's a beautiful day here on day 6. Is it day 6? Yes, of the Cry Mercy book tour. I'm sitting on my front porch enjoying a very serene morning after a night of rain on Crystal Lake. It's flat, flat, flat. Let me show you the mirror-like quality of Crystal Lake. On a quiet morning, see the mist rising off the water? Very beautiful. Okay, and I'm coming to you today from Silk and Shadows, which is a website with several authors, one of which is my friend Allison Chase. And Allison, I am reading your book right now. I just started it in my spare time. Here it is, Dark Temptation, and I just started it and I'm enjoying it very much. It's very gothic feeling. I like it a lot. And anyway, this week on Silk and Shadows, they're discussing superpowers, and they're saying if you could have a superpower, what would it be? And you know, if you ask this question to a lot of people, they might not have spent a lot of time thinking about it, but if you ask a group of authors, we've thought about it, particularly urban fantasy authors. And she thought this would be a particularly appropriate question for me, because for the Mercy books, and I brought all 3 out onto the porch here so I could show you how pretty they look all lined up. Let's see, the first one is Beg for Mercy, and the second one is Angel of Mercy, and the third one is, of course, the reason we're here, Cry Mercy. And Mercy has kind of a superpower. Although she doesn't really think of it that way. Mercy has the ability to compel people to obey her. And that's a pretty cool superpower. And I think I have thought about, gee, how cool would that be? But there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that particular superpower. I mean, you get to run people's lives. You could really screw up. Or you could do things for your own means, you know. You could walk into a jewelry store and tell them to give you that Rolex. And I'm not sure I'm up to the ethical challenges that Mercy has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. No, my superpower, and I have thought about this, would be the ability to make order out of chaos. Okay, now that could mean a lot of things. It could mean snapping your fingers and having your house spotless and your laundry done. And wouldn't we all like to do that? It could mean having all my notes in order to write my next book. And it could mean quieting a disordered mind. It could, I've known a number of people who have had mental disorders, and they really suffer. They really, really suffered with their inability to separate fantasy from reality, or their tendency to obsess on something that then drives them crazy and makes them very unhappy. And I would love to lay my hand upon their forehead and quiet their thoughts and let them think in an orderly fashion. But there's a lot of things you could do with order out of chaos. Think about that. You could have a lot of fun with that. Now, I asked my Twitter followers to send me some questions, and I got a bunch of them back, and I certainly don't have time to answer all of them. Sorry, but I got 2 that were so much alike. North Star Genesis. See, now I take my glasses off to read. These are for distance. An author and digital artist from Australia. He doesn't say what town, but he's in the Melbourne time zone. Says, what or who inspires you? And then I got a similar question from Gabby Rains, who gives her location as, quote, my own little world, unquote. And she says she is a freelancer, foot-and-mouth scribbler, wannabe devil's advocate, proofer, oh yeah, scribbler. And she says, besides, say, a paycheck, sorry, weird sense of humor, what keeps you writing? Well, Gabby, weird sense of humor aside, it wouldn't be the paycheck. Let me tell you what, I make a fraction of what I earned as a business analyst. I made a lot of money as a business analyst. I did not become a writer for the money. Although even I didn't know that we don't get paid as much as you think. We get paid quite, unless you know you're J.K. Rowling or Stephanie Meyer. Yeah, they're paying plenty for that. And let me tell you something. When they decide to make your book into a movie, That's nice. I would love to have one of my books picked up for a movie. But what inspires me is just everything. And people I meet, things I see, other writers. I was in a restaurant in Miami, and a woman came up on the sidewalk. She wasn't homeless, but she was very shabbily dressed and wearing house slippers, you know, out in public, and it was just pouring, and I was sitting out on the covered patio, and she stepped into the alcove of the restaurant to get out of the rain. She was this big woman who she looked like maybe she was Jamaican or an island woman, very big, very tall, wearing this big like flowery muumuu thing, and the customers were looking at her like, okay, there's a crazy woman on the patio. But I was watching her, and the rain, which was coming down like a waterfall, lessened so that you could see these individual big drops, and they were standing, there was just a curtain of them in front of where she was standing, coming down very straight. And suddenly she laughed and reached out her hands and started pretending to play the raindrops like a harp. And I have not written that scene, but I will. I wrote down what I saw. I will never forget how suddenly this elderly, kind of shabby woman suddenly laughed and became so beautiful as she did that. That's, you know, somebody's got to write that down. So I'm going to do that. So yes, lots of different things inspire me. Now, I'm going to sign a couple of things here real quick. I got some things for my virtual book tour. I opened them but haven't looked at them yet. This one is from Brittany in Dayton, Ohio. Oh, she gave me a Post-it note. And she says, please make the book plate out to me, Brittany. By the way, I loved all the Mercy books. Will there be more? And the answer is yes. I've got a contract with, or pending actually. It's not actually signed yet, but it's in the works. I've been made an offer with the publisher for 3 more books set in Mercy's world. And yes, for those who have written me and asked me, we are going to get some much bigger information about Mercy's origins. Yes. And I will, you know, I think I'll wait until after the video is done to actually sign that book plate rather than take the time. And I have one here from Massachusetts, from Westwood, Massachusetts. It says, I'd love a book plate made out to, oh, Michelle of the Quirky Ladies. This is somebody that I'm visiting next week on my virtual book tour, and she sent me a self-addressed stamped envelope so I can send her. Okay, all right, so watch for these people. Watch for the Quirky Ladies next week. Now, I didn't send out, oh, where's my cards? My cards. Okay, I'm going to pause this because I've got to go get my tarot cards. Okay, I'm back with my cards. Got them. And I didn't send out a notice on Twitter to see who wanted to be the person for the tarot reading today because I couldn't turn down a request from my friend Cindy Cruciger, Cruciger. Look for her very, very funny book, Revenge Gifts. And she's got this great blog site. She's a prodigious blogger, and she's got this blog site, www.fairfatelavat.com. That's her nom de guerre. It's computer colonics is what she calls the website. And I have to warn you, she's totally twisted and politically slightly to the right of Mussolini, but we love her anyway. Okay, here we go. Okay, Cindy. Okay. All right. Okay, now we had this card yesterday. All right, I've got to go very fast because I'm going to run out of time. Okay, that's all I have time for today, but thank you so much for coming on the virtual tour. I wanted to introduce you to Oscar, but of course he's being camera shy again. Well, you got to see him briefly yesterday, but not a real Oscar visit. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.